Let me start with the topic whichever is allotted for us today. For me today, that is nothing but the prevention and health promotion through Ritucharya. So let us have a look at what is the importance of Charyatraya. Next slide, please. Ritucharyam, Dinacharyam, Ratricharyam, Yadotitam, Majarim, Purushahastacha, Tada, Tishtati, Na, Anyatha. To be healthy, one should follow Dinacharya, Ritucharya, Ratricharya. As per the classics explained, that is more than enough to be a healthy individual, because we know that as per Ashtanga Sangrahakara, the classification on Swastha Purusha is going on as Vishak Paripalita and the Yadrishtika. Yadrishtika is nothing but the person by birth itself who is healthy is to be considered as Yadrishtika, whereas Vishak Paripalita is the person who is to be or maintain healthiness by following the Ritucharya, Dinacharya and Ratricharya. Then what is the important among this Charyatraya? Why Ritucharya is given the first place? Because we know that the second slide, next slide please. Tasya Shidatyam Aharabalam Varnashta Vardade. How Yasya Ritu Sadhya Vididam Cheshta Ahara Vyapasrayam. Suppose the strength and luster get enhanced to one who is readily know about the suitable diet and regime for every season. Not only knowledge is not sufficient enough, whereas we should ready to practice it accordingly. Then only one can be healthy. We know that just following Dinacharya, Ritucharya and Nisacharya is more than enough for someone to be a healthy one. Whereas out of that, the first explained one is Ritucharya. That is why the strength and luster or the capacity to prevent the disease or the capacity to promote your health is clearly dependent on the following or proper following of the Ritucharya as such or as per classics. Next slide. Next slide, please. How to be healthy. We know that here also the main important is going to give for Kala, nothing but Tyagaha Prajnaparadhanam Indriyopashamaha Smrititi Desha Kala Atmajnanam Sadvrityasya Anuvartanam. For what purpose? Anulpatti Samasena Vidiresha Pradarshitaha as well as Nija Agandu Vigaranam Ulpannanam Shanti. If something is about to happen, whichever maybe Nija Yoga or Aganda Yoga, it can happen or supposed to happen as well as which can about to happen as well as I would like to call primordial, primary, secondary levels of functioning can be covered just one this quotation. The knowledge about the Desha Kala. I would like to highlight here the Kala because it given to me is the area. So because we know that the Shodhana in Swastha Purusha is recommended in such a way. Many a time the classics are saying that even though the vessel which we are selecting may be a semi-precious, maybe something made up of with spatika or something, and the water, even though it is a Divya Jala, considered to be the most auspicious and most purified form of water, if you are keeping it for a long time in a vessel, the Kala itself can cause the accumulation of the dosha in that or the impurity in that. The same way, the doshas and the metabolic activities can make the body to be contaminated or can be cause the production of the doshas in such a way which is to be eliminated. Shidodbhavam doshajayam vasanti. Then Vishodayam Grishmajam Abhragale Khanate Varshikamasu Samyak. For what purpose? Prapnodi Rogan Rutujana Jatu. Mean the disease whichever can happen as a continuation of the fluctuation happening in the climate will never going to happen if somebody is following the Ritucharya as such. Okay, what is that? Nothing but conducting Vasanta Ritu, the Vamana, as well as the Sharad Ritu, the Virejana, as well as Varsha. Still more specifically, Pravrit of the Varsha or the beginning of the Varsha is the apt time for the conduction of the Basti Chikitsa. Next slide, please. So here, The status of Rasa and Bala during the year is coming. Here I am going to explain in first chart Ritu, then status or the strength of the sun, then strength of the moon, then dryness, then Rasa in Dravyas, which Rasa is dominating, and status of human Bala. In Shishira, strength of sun will be Purna, strength of moon will be Kshina, so dryness will be there. Then Rasa in Dravyas will be dominatingly Tikta, so Sreshta Bala will be there. Keep in mind, Shishira and Hemanta Shayas the highest Sharira Bala. I will give the support for this statement with the recently conducted researches. Whereas Vasanta comes next, there the strength of sun is again Purnata, moon is Kshina, Rukshada is again dominating there. Kashaya, Rasa is dominating, and the Madhyama Bala of the Sharira will be there. The same is with Sharad, apart from the strength of the sun. Then Grishma comes next, where the Sharira Bala is very Alpa, strength of sun is Purnata, strength of moon is Kshinata, Rukshatam will be there, Kadu is the dominating Rasa, and Alpa Bala will be there. The same is with Varsha, Kshina is the domination strength of the sun, and strength of the moon is with Purnada. Snigdhata is dominating there, and the Rasa, which is dominating, is Hamla, but Sharira Bala is still Alpada as the continuation of the Grishma. We know that first what 3 we told is coming under the Adana, whereas the last 3 is coming under the Visarga. Sharad comes next. Kshinata of the sun will be there, Purnatva of moon will be there, so Sharira Bala is going to increase due to the Snigdhata of the Kala as well as the lesser dominating is Lavana. So Madhyama Bala will be there. The next one is Hemanta, Kshinada of the sun, then Purnada of the moon, then the dryness will be Snigdhatva, whereas Rasa dominating is Madhura, which can give the nourishment for the body, and the Sreshta Bala will be there. Hereafter that, again the Uttarayana will start in such a way to start Adana Kala. Thereafter Dakshinayana will follow after 3 Ritus with an intention to increase the Sharira Bala. Next come rhythm of Doshik Sanjaya Prakopa Shamana during the year. Dosha is Vata, Sanjaya happening is Grishma, Prakopa will be Varsha. So Shamana will happen in Sharad. Whereas for Pitta, Sanjaya happening at Varsha, Prakopa happening at Sharad, and the Shamana can attain at Hemanta. Coming back to Kapha, Sanjaya is happening for Kapha in Hemanta Ritu. Prakopa can happen in Vasanta Ritu, whereas Shamana of that can be happening, or Kapha can be happening Grishma Ritu. So we know that the prevention of the health, I told you that the importance of the Shodhana in all the situation. So for that, we may have to have a consideration because we are going to handling the Swasthya Purushas, isn't it? Because the topic given for me is health promotion and the protection. So our target population is Swasthya Purusha. So can we adopt all these Purva Karmas in the 3 procedures whichever is explained? I mean, for the conduction of the Vamana, whether we may have to follow the Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma as such. If yes, for how many days is the question arises? Let us have a look one by one. Next slide. Snehapana as a Purva Karma can be adopted with Asana Vigradi Taila in Kapha Prakriti person, Tikta Vigrada in Pitta Prakriti person, plain ghee can be adopted in Vata Prakriti, which is the one which we are following in hospital, in Arohana Krama, until the Samit Snigdha Lakshana is observed. This is something which I am going to say about the Shodhana required for Swasthya Purusha, irrespective of Ritu, but with the consideration of the Deha Prakriti. Here Ritu means the yes, with a special consideration with the Prakriti, we are giving the much important. It may be Vamana or it may be Viretana. As we all know that there is no Purva Karma is required for Vasti. Viretana in Sharad Ritu, Vishramakala may be 2 days. Sarvanga Abhyanga with Murchita Tilataila or plain Tilataila can be given. On 3rd day of Vishramakala, after Sarvanga Abhyanga, Viretana with 60 grams of Trivrta Lehya with Ushna Jala Anupana can be given, or Avipakti Karya can be given. Why? Because through these 2 selection, as Trivrta Lehya is something which is based on some Lehya Karma or based on some Lehya procedures or Lehya Kalpana, This is not going to provoke the vata much. Okay. Whereas avipatti, as the word denotes that it is without vipat, so one can use it very straight away as it. When the consideration of Vasanta and the Vamana is the procedure which we have to do, Vishrama Kala can be minimized to 1 day. Whereas Sarvanga Abhyanga with the Taila should be followed as it. Whereas on the second day of Vishrama Kala, after Sarvanga Abhyanga, Madanapala Yoga, or any combination from the Vamana Gana can be used for the conduction of or induction of this Vamana. Vasti in Pravrudu, suppose this is the third procedure which we are doing. Purva Dharma, only Sthanika Sarvanga Abhyanga and Sneha is indicated. Whereas Yoga Vasti will be a better option for Swastha Purusha rather than the Kala Vasti and the Karma Vasti. Why? Because in Yoga Vasti we can find 3 Kashaya Vasti. So it is meant for one. First one is for Vata, second one is for Pitta, and the third one is for the Kapha. Is the concept of the people from Kotakala Ayurveda College. So for a Swastha Purusha, we used to stick on the Yoga Vasti. Whereas coming back to the next, Lekhana Vasti, in Kapha Pradhana Vyadhi, Agrita Yusha can be given. In Pitta Pradhana Avastha, Shira can be given. In Vada Pradhana Avastha, Mamsarasa or Parihara Kala and Pariharya Kala can be advised. Then next slide, Ritucharya for health promotion. All these slides we were discussing about health promotion through Shodhana therapy. So now what are the things we should follow either under the heading of Shamana or under the heading of maintenance? So let me explain about individual features of the Ritu. First comes the Shishira, which we may call as winter, may extend from December to Jan, then full Jan to February half. Once again, December half to Jan full, then January full to February half. Characteristics is going on like similar as that of Hemanta Ritu, but has more Rukshada, Sheetada, wind and rain than Hemanta. That we will explain in the last slide. Okay, what are the features of Hemanta? Whereas coming back to the consideration of dosha, same as that of Hemanta, Bala will be Sreshta Bala. Food to be taken, same as that of the Hemanta. Activities may go as same as that of Hemanta, in addition to remain in less ventilated and more warm places to protect our body from cold. Coming back to the second Ritu, nothing but the Vasanta Ritu, may call as spring, which is going to extend from February 15th to March full and April half. Characteristic, wind blow towards the south, accumulated Shleshma undergoes the liquefaction due to the strong sun rays. Dosha, Prakopa of Kapha is going to happen there. Sharira Bala is Madhyama Bala. Food is to be taken, maybe Yava, nothing but barley, Godhuma. In non-vegetarian, light cooked meat, fermented beverages, and Shundi, Motha, and Asana Sadhyata water can be, nothing but the Asana Phanda Kashaya can be used. Food not to be taken, which is very heavy to digest, sour, sweet, and uncooked. Activities like Vamana, dry massage, more physical activities, and gargling or the Kavala Gandosha is recommended. Common diseases therein, Shwasa, Kasa, Pradishyaya, Agni Mandya, and Ajirna, because Kapha Vriddhi is going to happen. Common intervention, Vyaushadivadi, Lavanga-adivadi, Shitopala-adi-churna, Talisa-adi-churna, then Shirishadi Kwadha, etc. is explained. Even Chitraka-adivadi, Ajamoda-adi-churna, etc. can be used. Coming back to the next Ritu, it is nothing but the Grishma Ritu. Clearly, the features of summer we can see there, which is from April half to May full and June half. Slight fluctuation will happen from the coastal areas of India towards the northern part when the clouds are moving. A slight fluctuation of 28 to 30 days are observed in many places. Characteristic, excessively dry and hot. Dosha, Vata Sanjaya, Kapha Shamana due to excessive dryness. Bala will be very avara. So food is to be taken with the consideration of that sweet, cold, liquid. More liquid is to be consumed. Food items, then mantha, sharbat, lightly cooked non-vegetarian item, krida, milk, plenty of water can be consumed. Food not to be taken, alcoholic beverage, Lavana Rasa Pradhana Ahara, Katu, Amla Ushna Rasa Pradhana Ahara, Activities, one can sleep or nap during the daytime is recommended. Stay in cooled place, indulge in forest where greenery is more or cold is more. Cold water and flowers, should not indulge in sexual activities and excessive physical exertion. Common diseases may be sunstroke, exhaustion, aruchi, trishna, etc. Common intervention, definitely fluid replacement is the first modality, so Shadanga Paniya, then Amrapanaga, Takra Semina, which is to be prepared immediately and to be consumed, Sheetal Sarbat, then Ushira and the Chandana combinations can be consumed. Next comes the Varsha Ritu. A drastic change in climate is going to happen here, which is nothing but early monsoon period of the rainy season, which begins from 15th of June to July full, then till extend up to August half. Characteristic. Digestive fire is further weakened due to the Lavana Dravada of the Antariksha. Water becomes Samla Vipaki. Dosha is Vata Prakopa. Bala is Alpabala. Food to be taken. Drink. Diet mixed with honey, Amla, Lavana, Sneha on the day of excessive raining to contract the aggravation of the Vada. Old Shali or all the cereals like barley, gothuma, shali, processed yusha of the grain, grape wine and arishta can be used. What should not be used is water, demons and drinks, impure and contaminated water. We know that the beginning of the rainy season is the, as per even community medicine of Surya Kanta, it is the time for the GIT disturbance. Activities comes next. Dry massage or the Udvartana, stay in less humid place, wearing garlands, perfume to get rid of the damp smell, avoid day sleep, excessive physical exercise, sexual intercourse and exposure to tan is recommended. Common diseases may be due to Pitta Vipaka, it may be Amla Pitta. Endemics like the cholera, diarrhea, dysentery, skin diseases can happen. Excess moisture is entertaining the skin diseases. Then common interventions may be Ushnotaka with honey. Why Ushnotaka? Because we know that 100% of the waterborne diseases we can prevent when we are sending the water for raw boiling. Then Vilvati Churna, one of the best one for the Garavesha. Then Gangathara Churna, Trikati Churna and Haridra Khanda, etc. can be used. Coming back to the next and last, it is nothing but the Sharad autumn season, August half to September full, and September full to October half. Characteristic: sudden re-exposure to sunrays causes Pitta Visheshan, dosha may be Pitta Prakopa, Bala will be Madhyama Bala here. So food is to be taken: Madhura, Shita, Lakhu, Shaliana, Gothuma, Mung, Yava, Mathu, Grita, and Tikta medication is recommended. Food which is Subsita Pitta is recommended here. Food not to be taken is Vasa, that is fatty tissue, oil, meat of aquatic animal, dahi, shara, etc. should be avoided. Activity, wearing garland, exposure to moonlight in the night, then no daytime sleep. Common diseases, again, Amla Pitta, Shita Pitta, Kandu, etc. Common intervention may be Avipattikara Churna, Ushirasava, Chandanasava, and Madhi Ashyadi Churna, etc. The last one is the Hemant Ritu, early winter characteristics, which is extending from October half to November full and November full to December half. That is half of previous Sunday after month, whereas one full month will come in between. Characteristics: Sheetalavayu, then Prabala Jadaragni, Madhurisa Utpatti, endowed with strong doshas, Sanjaya of the Kapha, Prasamana of the Vada is happening. Bala is Reshta Bala here. Food is to be taken heavy food, newly ripened rice and other grains immediately after the cultivation. So it can go very well with heavy non-vegetarian preparation, which is sufficient enough to give the satiety. Snigdha, Madhura, Amla, Lavana, wine, Madhu, etc. can be used. Milk and dikshu or the sugarcane products is recommended. Wine and other alcoholic beverages are recommended. Food not to be consumed. Vada Vardhaka Ahara Viharas should be avoided. Activity, oil massage, application of oil all over the head, sun bath, then Utsadhana, then residing in the warm underground chamber, wearing of heavy woolen clothes, use of thick blanket, and unlimited indulgence in sexual activities is recommended. Common diseases like Sandhi, Stabdata, Sandhi Shula, Pradishyaya, Shwasa, Kasa, etc. So here immunity of the respiratory system comes first. So the Chyawanprash, Ashwagandha Churna, Yogaraja Gugulu, then Shilajit, then Mahanarayana Taila for local application, etc. recommended. So now we discussed whatever we can do in Ahara and the Vihara for this above mentioned 6 Ritus, and why it is recommended. It is purely based on the possibility of the Jaya Prakopa pressure. So next slide is starting with Ritu Sandhis. What we have to do with these Ritu Sandhis? It is nothing but changes of season. Last 7 days of the outgoing Ritu and first 7 days of the coming Ritu. Important. It is the period of susceptibility for various diseases. Should not leave the do's and do not of outgoing Ritu in a single stretch. So the same way, should not switch over the new Ritu's regimens all of the sudden. Then Padamsha karma is recommended, that is living slowly the first previous Ritus features or the do's and do not, and adopt slowly the coming Ritus do's and do not. Here, one more question is there. One of my PG students was asking just last class, what is the concept of Ritu Viparya? Or suppose it is very common in at present scenario, that suppose it is to be somewhere about Varsha Ritu, and we are sharing the features of the Grishma. What thing we should do? In that, Ashtanga Hridayakara clearly says that that condition is to be called as Ritu Viparya, and there which Ritu's features are dominating or is visible. So what Charyas are explained for that, one should adopt. Coming back to the next, Oka Sadhya, next slide. Continuous use of unwholesome will not cause vikara immediately due to the habituation, but may cause the problem of over for a long period of time. This is called as Aukasadhya. It should not be encouraged. One should try to leave such habits gradually, the same as what we explained in the Ritu Sandhi. So the same way, one should come out of the Aukasadhya. So key take out points. Next slide. Varsha Ritu. Prevent amla and contaminated water, because we know that, just I explained that even in Park and Park in Suryakanta, modern textbook of community medicine, they are saying only one thing: Varsha Ritu is the time for the commencement of majority of the GIT disturbance. Coming to next, Sharad, beware of strong sun, Pitta Shamaka Ahara Viharas to be consumed. In case of Hemanta, eat heavy. Atwil, do day sleep. Shishira, follow Hemant regime as such, because both shares the same features. That's why Susrutacharya is not explaining about this. He is saying instead of that, he is including the proper truth. Vasanta Ritu comes next. Vamana, Udvartana, Kapha Prabhava is to be prevented there. For as for Grishma Ritu, sleep during daytime, accumulation of Vada has to be taken care. Use plenty of Sattva and the sweetened fluids. Modern perspective comes next. This next slide. Click next slide. The weather has found to have a profound effect on human health and well-being. No doubt in that. We know that. Medical disorders such as bronchitis, peptic ulcer, adrenal ulcer, glaucoma, goiter, eczema, and herpes zoster are related to seasonal variations and in temperature. Next slide. Effect of hot climate. V.N. Holzer's book is clearly explaining about diminution of metabolism and less food intake is happening in case of hot climate, or in case of the people who is living in hot climate. So the rate of respiration and retarded elimination of carbon dioxide from the blood is going to happen. So it causes reduction in oxygenation of the blood and diminution of the digestive power, which all contribute together the premature senility and the lowering of the expectation of the life. So it is Vada Pradhana Bhumi. So definitely the lifespan of the person, or Vada Pradhana climate. So definitely the lifespan of an individual will be less. Coming back to next, effect of cold climate causes increased metabolism, large food intake, oxygenation of the blood, elimination of the carbon dioxide, and excretion of urine get increases, amount of sweat decreases, and the digestive power is getting sharpened. So expectation of life and the changes of aging will be a bit slow to the people who is living in the cold climate. Whereas effect of humidity, it seeks the evaporation from the lungs and the skin. It favors the growth of microorganisms. For a good health, 75% of the humidity is considered as the best. Many of people you may be knowing our Ram Manohar sir. He used to say that once they constructed the Kudi, are you remember the Kudi and the Kudi Praveshika Vidhi of Rasayana or the Vajikaran? So in the Rasayana Kudi Praveshika or the Kudi they constructed at Jamnagar as the same as that of the explanation given in classics. You know that? The temperature inside such a double-walled Kudi is never ready to exceed 27 degrees Celsius, whereas humidity, due to the presence of a big water body nearby, was maintained at 65%. So what is the speciality of 27 degrees Celsius and 65% of humidity? It is nothing but the most accepted comfort zone by modern community medicine. I mean, whenever we are living or thinking about the comfort of the human being in consideration with the environment, we used to count the comfort zone. What is that comfort zone? It is nothing but where the temperature is in between 22 to 27 degrees Celsius and the moisture inside a room is 65%. So a Kudi which is constructed, which was explained centuries before in our science, is going very well with the concept of the modern comfort zone. Next one, humidity has a considerable influence on morbidity in the winter because of cold. Dry air leads to excessive hydration, dehydration of the nasal passage and the upper respiratory tract and increases the chances of viral and the microbial infection immediately. Even birth rates and the sperm counts appear to be affected by meteorological phenomena. What is that? It is nothing but Flores et al. Examined the effect of birth season of fetal development and longevity and found that significantly increased birth weight, longevity had individual born during the autumn and the winter season of the year. We remember the, what is that? Balavritikara bhava. Balavat purushe deshe janme kale cha. Here kala is kale. Hemanda shishirabhi. Hemanda shishirava kale. Jayamanesya. Kale Balam Janedi, who is taking birth in that time of or particular season will have very strong Bala. These individuals are also established statistically significant lower prevalence rate of fetal growth restriction and premature birth. I mean, they will complete their fetal life as well as they will complete or avoid the premature birth. Then also, they observed increased temperature at the time of birth linked with adverse effect of the fetal development and the longevity. Heart failure and cerebrovascular accident have been correlated many times with ambient temperature. Seasonal change in skin diseases was reported in Nepal and many other parts of the world due to excessive humidity. Highest prevalence of dry skin disease, the other side of it. And atopic dermatitis was noted in the September-December season in dry parts of India. These Sotavrata people, in consideration with the holistic approach is required for skin diseases, we are taking the skin disease OPD in Sri Sri College, and we observed that a holistic approach in such a way, like many we know that it is autoimmune, that is to be provoked by the, psychosomatic conditions, isn't it? So what we observed a combined management of Shodhana therapy as well as the medicine intake, drug of choice, along with the meditation is going to help. Definitely, no doubt, the Patya also playing a major role. But along with that, we are making the patient mandatorily to do the meditation as well as the pranayama. So we are observing a wonderful result for many of the cases of skin diseases. The average metabolic response during the cold exposure were significantly higher in winter as compared to that of summer. Fast changes in temperature are probably produce a number of physiological changes in the body. Rapid drops may affect the blood pH, blood pressure, urination volume, and tissue permeability. Also, platelet count in healthy subjects were significantly higher in summer than in winter. Hormone secretions are Periodic variation releases that may be influenced by seasonal variation. Same is observed in case of liver function and the serum uric acid and triglycerides level. Studies suggested that systolic and diastolic pressure values differ significantly across the 4 seasons due to moderate cold, heat, and rain season, having common characteristics are most convenient and not harmful to the body. It is just a slight fluctuation according to physiological changes. Due to the changes in global environment, global warming, there are marked seasonal variations observed in India and abroad. Heavy rainfall with extended monsoon season or very short duration of rainy season with the scanty rainfall as described by Acharya as Savi Yoga, Hina Yoga respectively are observed nowadays, which should be considered as Ritu Vivekya. Thus, the seasonal Ritu prescribed by Acharya, one should follow cautiously and strictly to prevent the seasonal disease not to produce due to lack of homologation. As quoted by Acharya Tridapala in Charaka Siddhisthana, the science of therapeutic compiled by Acharya Agnivisha for the well-being of the healthy as well as ailing. To conclude, the moral responsibility of we physicians are Krittva Shitoshna Vrishtinam Pradikaram Yatha Yatham Prayojit Kriya Praptam. For what purpose? Kriya Kalam Na Hapti. Mean follow the Shitoshna Vrishtis Pradikaram Yatha Yatham. Nothing but doing the Ritu Anusara Shodhana. Prayojit Kriya Praptam. Selection of drug, selection of ahara, selection of vihara, selection of regimes, etc. should be very proper. For what purpose? Kriya Kalamna Hapi should not allow the dosha to exceed from Sanjaya to Prakopa, Prakopa to Prasara, Prasara to Sthana Samshraya in such a way for complete manifestation of the disease. So, thank you very much. Once again, I take this opportunity to the all faculty members of the Department of Swasthya for their kind cooperation.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable and nice presentation.
Thank you.
So our next session is question and answer. So anybody have any question regarding Ritucharya can ask. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether Ritu has any role in fertility or infertility?
Ma'am, Sajita.
Yes, I am here. Yes, I am here. What is the question? Can you repeat once again?
Whether Ritu has any role in fertility or infertility?
Yes, definitely. That's why I explained it. No, 2006 one study has happened based on the capacity of the possible chances of fertilization, and even the chances of survival is explained very well. Even when that discussion happened in my department, no, one of my PG student was asking, ma'am, whether it is the time of fertilization counts or time of birth counts. What is your opinion? Savita, what is your opinion? Definitely. Yes, tell me.
In Sharad Ritu, actually, Pitta Prakopa is there, no, ma'am?
Oh.
Whether it cause any disturbance in conceive.
Direct relation between Ritu and infertility is not explained much, but the possibility of fertility is highlighted very well in the Hemanta and the Shishir Ritu.
Okay.
Through the support of that article. If you want, I can send you that link also. Please reach to Manjunath. I can share the ideas or the link with you.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, I would like to ask you one question.
Yes.
It was wonderful session by you. Thank you so much for this session. I actually would like to ask you regarding seasonal changes in every state are different. Right now we are in Uttar Pradesh and we are now not having season according to Rutus explained in our Shastras. Right now we are having hot and humid weather, extreme hot, extreme cool weather we find here. So how to correlate? And again, my second question is regarding Shodhan. Please elaborate in detail regarding Shodhana also. Seasonal Shodhanas.
Yes, yes. So I'm very thankful for this very wonderful questions you asked. First thing is actually the climate of southern part of India, the coastal areas of southern part of India, exactly sharing the features which is explained by Vagbhadacharya. I think he's the person who took birth and developed or grown in the states of southern part of the India. That may be the reason. What is the difference or a wide variation we can find in the observation of the Ritucharya when it comes to Susruta as well as in Vagbhada. Susruta is never ready to accept the certain Ritus, whereas he is very behind Pravrit. Whereas Vagbhada is considering the Pravrit in the beginning of the Varsha Ritu. Okay, so clearly we can, whatever the features of the Ritu is presenting, that should be followed. There is no doubt in that. Clearly they are saying that don't bother much about that, whether it is Chaitra or Ashada or Margasisha and all. You have to stick on only on the clinical features or the features which is present in the Ritu should be there in your consideration rather than counting the 28 to 30 days of each month, each Indian months. Coming back to the second session, Vamana, Virechana, Vasti is there in our consideration. The first thing is Vasti should be conducted in the beginning of the Pravrit. Why? Because when the Varsha Ritu is progressing, all possibilities are there for wide prakopa of the or wide influence of the Vata on human body. So that may be the reason why in the beginning of the Varsha, or which may call as Pravrit, is considered for the conduction of the Vasti. No pre-procedures are required there. There we are doing it just with an intention of Ardha Chikitsa. Just with an intention of with minimum drug intervention, maximum benefit is the idea behind it. So there we used to count only, I told you, Yoga Vasti, because 3 Kashaya Vastis are coming. We have the count of 3 doshas. So 3 Kashaya Vastis. So by that Yoga Vasti will be a better option for Swastha Purusha is the reference available. Then Paschat Karma may be followed accordingly. Suppose maybe according to Deha Prakriti or maybe according to the presence of the rainfall, we can decide the Paschat Karma. Coming back to the Virechana, here the thing what you have to note is mainly Virechana is the one where the drug should undergo for digestion and to induce the Virechana. Clear? So the selection of drug should have a proper count in such a way that it should be. That means the drug which we are going to induce Virechana should not provoke Vata, should go well with the Pitta is the concept of that. So many a time either something which is based on the Grida basis or Lehya basis we used to opt. That's why we Kotakal people used to opt Trivrti Lehya only for the conduction of the Virechana. Or if you are not in a position to analyze properly what is the Deha Prakriti or the combination of the Kapha Vata is there, better option will be Avipattikara. We used to say that Vata Pitta is there, Avipattikara will be the option for that. Kevala Vata and Vata Kafaja Prathana may be Trival, and the other conditions like Dandi Dravandi Churna or the Panaviraladi Churna can be added in Ganji and can be consumed. Definitely the patient will get the Madhyama Vega without any doubt in such a way like the Kafande or the ending of the Kapha, this will, ending of the Pitta, the Virechana will happen. Coming back to the Vamana, we used to give the Kshira to the person for the conduction of the Vamana. We will not give. In the common practice in Karnataka side, what I observed is, they used to give Yashti Madhu Fanda. In Kerala, we will never give the Kshira, Yashti Madhu Fanda, we will give only Kshira. That Kshira also, first 4 or 5 glasses of the Kshira, we will make the patient to see it, smell it, and taste it and to consume. Are you remembering the Pavlov's experiment? The same thing, that is the appearance, the smell, and the color, the feeling of the taste or the memory of the taste will make the bile duct to secrete more bile to the part of the intestine. In such a way, we can find what to say, the Pitta Darshana after the conduction of the end of the Vamana. That is to be considered as the Samik Lakshana of the Vamana. Am I right? So, yes. Yellow stain will be very visible if you are giving milk. That is one thing. Second thing is the smell, the taste, and the color or the memory of the taste of that milk, will make the bile to release or the bile gallbladder to release abundant bile in such a way the visibility of the Pitta Darshana. Fourth thing is, by birth itself, as we are accommodated with the milk, means from birth we are consuming milk only, isn't it? So that milk itself will not going to induce Vamana. Then after consuming Aganda Pida Muktana, one should have just 30 ml, I mean 1 ounce of Vamana Dravya. Vamana Dravya combination can be either simple Madana Falachurna or Madana Madhakalamba Bimbi Vishala, that combination 3 or 4 according to the nature of the person or the Saukumarata of the person, you can select accordingly. One more point, only in Vamana and Vasti we will feed honey, isn't it? Ayurveda clearly says that honey at any cost one should not heat. Then what is the reason for giving honey by heating it in Vamana as well as in Vasti? Keep in mind, Machigam, Lavanam, Sneham, Kalkam, Kwakam, isn't it? After add, sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.